Project 27. Skills that matter.
Hello, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Danielle.
And we are the co-founders of Project 27.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I thought it would make sense to talk about Project 27 Solutions. So the last time we introduced ourselves, then we introduced Project 27 skills and, the wider context of Project 27 consultancy group as the social enterprise itself. So the last time we kind of ended on saying that solutions is the dark side of Project 27. Well, it's not really. It just sounded good to say, right?
Yeah.
So Project 27 Solutions is, well, I suppose the business-to-business side. So if you recall, Project 27 Skills is what we usually describe as the business-to-community arm. And that's the skills development or the talent arm of the CIC. Whereas Project 27 Solutions is, more of a business-to-business arm, a research and innovation department, essentially. So just like before, how about we, start from our mission statement and we spend some time taking it apart.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me.
Our mission is to co-design solutions and diffuse innovation that works for everyone in the value chain of disability inclusion.
All right, well, just like last time, we have a really fancy mission statement, which, to some extent will relate to our vision. And it may also change over time as we speak to stakeholders and figure out what it is that we really need to do to get to our long-term vision. But in its current form, when you look at it, what sort of questions does it trigger in your mind?
So it brings a few questions. So what does it mean by co-designing solutions?
Yeah, co-designing solutions. Well, I suppose it refers to essentially us as, a blind person with some research background, as you with some lived experience of learning disability, working with research groups at universities and potentially some other places. So if I think back of my research collaboration with an amazing team at MIT, or if you think back the work you've done with researchers at the Open University, it's a whole process. It's important for us to have people who are professional scientists, who are academic researchers, because they have the expertise to go back to the really solid scientific method, have a hypothesis, have an idea, have methods that are approved by the wider community and produce results which are reliable. So if they say, here is the problem, this is how we understand the problem, and this is how we think we can solve it, then that's a trusted solution because it has scientific evidence behind it. So that's the research side of it. That's, how we come to the solutions. But then it's important because, researchers themselves might have those tools, but they might not always have the lived experience to really tackle the right problems, to really understand, what it is that people need. So that's where the co-design comes in, because it's a real partnership between disabled people and researchers. I don't think either of us could, do something amazing, something really impactful just on our own. We understand the problem, but we don't always necessarily have the scientific skills. And, researchers might understand the right problem, but they might not fully appreciate the root cause and the needs. So co-designing solutions is just really referring to teamwork, bringing together academia and people with disabilities to describe and understand the real problem, the implications of potential solutions, and trying to come up with applications or ideas or solutions that will actually solve the real problem. So yeah, I think in a very long-winded way, that's kind of what that bit refers to.
So, diffusing innovation, what does that exactly mean?
Diffusing innovation. Well, I think originally the reason why we came up with that phrase is coming back to a concept of diffusion of innovation, which is actually sometimes used in marketing. I'm not going to go into the whole details, but in literature and people who are familiar with entrepreneurship, there is a notion that when a solution is being created, it's not all of a sudden in the hands of all the possible people who might want it. There is a group of people, a small group of people, who are always looking to find the latest solutions because they're really frustrated by the problem. They want to be the first ones who had the chance to resolve that problem. We refer to them as innovators usually. And then later on, a larger group of people, sometime down the line, early adopters pick those solutions up, and then the majority of the people follows after that. And this is generally how any innovation is being diffused. So it's a bit of a rabbit hole. We could, spend probably an hour talking about what innovation is. But in this sense, in the Project 27 Solutions mission statement, diffusion of innovation really refers to the second stage, which is happening after co-design. And this is typically in partnership with businesses. So when a research group and people with disabilities come up with a solution, in order to make a solution that really works, we need to get that to the majority of people. And typically that's through industry, through commercial innovation. So our mission in part is to work with researchers to come up with good solutions, but also to work with businesses to get these solutions in the hands of the majority of people. And only if that happened, that's how we define a solution that actually works.
Wow, a lot in that one question there. So can you explain a bit about the value chain?
Yeah, again, that's the second rabbit hole in there. But in context of our mission statement, really, that's just kind of coming back to the researchers and people who have the lived experience, starting almost the value chain. Then, as I mentioned, is the second stage of getting that solution out to the hands of majority of people through businesses. And then as more and more people start to use the solution, I think new problems will be defined, new opportunities for research, new business opportunities. And, typically you would think that the end users will be at the end of the value chain. They are the people who get the value. But of course, when we talk about co-design, it actually very often starts by end users, right? So we don't even have the right terminology. We just call them end users. Maybe we should call them, starting users or lead users. And so when we talk about the value chain, there is the kind of traditional interpretation, but also we have this concept of circular value chains where, yes, researchers come up with a solution to a problem, the businesses amplify this and diffuse it to the markets, the end users get to use it, but it all should loop back to the research. And our mission is to create this loop or make it stronger where it already exists, and also to accelerate the cycle So everyone on the value chain benefits from it. The researchers will be able to produce better research outputs, businesses can create more impact, and the end users can also get access to solutions that work, but they can also influence the development of these solutions right from the initial stages of design, essentially.
Well, that's another rabbit hole gone down.
Yeah, hopefully not too many of those coming once
Yeah.
we, had the basics kind of spoken about. I think we'll take much smaller chunks to talk about certain elements of both Project 27 skills and solutions and how these two really link to each other. And of course, we should take, much deeper dives into various aspects of these. So, well, until then, thanks for sticking with us. And we'll come back with another episode of shedding light on what on earth Project 27 is.
Project 27. Skills that matter.